Before I actually started this, I just wanted to shout out, not that she needs a shout out, but like, if you're like obsessed with fandoms like I am, can you just like go check out Amanda Todd Hunter right now? Because I'm like obsessed with her content. That's it. Okay. Worth it. Story warning before you actually decide to dive in and listen to this. There is, not a heavy amount, but there's definitely anxiety triggers and self-esteem issues. So if that's a trigger for you, please, I do not recommend this audio or video for you. That's all. Come on, YN. You know this by now that you can barely do anything right. Look, you just made a fool of yourself in front of the whole class. What are you thinking? You thought to yourself as you clutched your bag tightly in your grasp with anxiety, walking down the sidewalk so that you could head back to your house after a long day of school. You always got into your own head. It was a small habit of yours that showed up often. Not as often as Tamaki, but pretty often. Just then you accidentally messed up and dozed off, having the teacher mess with you personally afterward to embarrass you. You weren't a bad student. You just dozed off from a lack of sleep from the night before, and you mess up big time and made a fool out of yourself. Just great, isn't it? First you get shy from your quirk, and now this. You're just at rock bottom. As you walked down the sidewalk, you heard footsteps come up behind you. That as you turned around, no one was there. This freaked you out majorly. You could have sworn someone was there. You felt like someone had just been watching you, and you could have swore you heard something. As you turned your head back around, there stood Togata, slipping his shirt back on since his quirk can't involve his clothes. Your face went deep red as you covered your eyes so he could cover himself up. But the more time passed, the more you wanted to see his muscular body, even though you basically saw it enough when you messed up his quirk. That's why he has his costume, you guessed then. Good thing for it, too. I was trying to surprise you, but we saw how that worked out. He laughed as he pulled his bag over his shoulder and stood next to you. A wide smile formed on his face as you looked at him in curiosity. You sighed and put a somewhat convincing fake smile on your face, and you continued to walk down the sidewalk, now with him by your side. He frowned as he took a quick glance at you and faced back forward. You're thinking about something. I can tell. How? You always make this face when you're either in deep thought or thinking about something bad. So, what's on your mind then, YN? He asked as he readjusted his backpack strap for a second as he waited by the crosswalk. You shrugged and kept your head down. Your cheeks started to heat up by the sudden pressure to tell him exactly what was on your mind. Yet he only smiled when you didn't answer. You know, venting what you're thinking actually helps your brain relieve stress and gives it more time to think with another opinion, he said as he interlocked his hands together and twirled his thumbs, being slightly impatient. It's nothing, Togata. I'm fine. No, you aren't. Yes, I am. Stop worrying about me. How can I not worry when you're one of my best friends? He wrapped his arm around your shoulders and brought you into a side hug as you walked down the street together. Your cheeks started to heat up even more as he held you in his grasp. Let me guess, okay? You're thinking negatively again. He guessed completely right on the first go. Why did he read emotion so well when it came to you? You can't get away with anything, can you? Even if you try, he'll still find out. What are you sad about? You know you can tell me anything, right? He asked with a reassuring smile as he looked at you. You sighed. You couldn't think of any other way around him than his constant asking. But it was still hard for you to tell him this. You never liked telling anyone the things you thought about. You felt as if you were taking up their time with your stupid thoughts. I made a fool of myself in class today, Togata, okay? After that thing, I was just at an all-time low and started to be unsure about everything, about being a hero and whatnot, almost like I couldn't do anything right, like I wasn't meant to be here, you know? You shrugged as you hugged yourself tight after speaking your mind to him. His expression softened as he stopped you in your tracks, holding your shoulders in place, like it could stop you, which it very well could with his strength. Don't think that way of yourself, please, Wayan. You're worth so much more to me, and to anyone that truly sees you for you. You are worth the hero training. You're worth the time. I want you to understand that, okay, Wayan? How were you chosen then, huh? They saw that magic and determination in you from the beginning. You have what it takes. I bet you could make top 3 with your abilities. Togata said, his cheeks turning more and more red as he looked into your eye-colored orbs. He smiled widely at you and held your hands softly. You are worth it, Wayan. Anything that comes across your path, you always seem to defeat it and move on no matter how hard or challenging. These negative thoughts should be your next to defeat. It's ruining your true spirits of things, you know? I want to see the old Wayan back, the one I knew back in primary school and middle school, before these thoughts came into your head. Togata said as he rested his forehead against yours. His face burned deep red from getting flustered as he told you these things. Your face was around the same color. This was even more than you expected from him. Usually, it was, "You'll be alright, Wayan, everything is fine," or "Please stop worrying about everything and relax, I'm right here with you." A sigh escaped your lips as you wrapped your arm around his waist, wanting to cry into his chest, but sadly, no tears came out. Can you promise me that you'll tell me anything negative that pops into your mind from now on, Wayan? He asked as he stared into your eye-colored orbs. You bit the bottom of your lip and nodded your head as he rested his forehead against yours. I'm going to help you through this, okay? That's what best friends are for, am I right? He smirked as he pulled away from the hug you had with him. You smiled fully and nodded your head as he stared at you like he was staring off into space. We are going to get through this together. We are a team. Of course we are a team, just like back when we were young. Yeah, just like back then, when everything was happy, you muttered underneath your breath as you came across your house. There stood your mom, with a big smile on her face as she read the newspaper in her hand. Well, hello, Togata. Would you like to stay over for some dinner? I'm cooking very soon. Your mom offered as she turned her attention onto him fully. No, thank you, Mrs. Ellen. My mother wanted me home for dinner tonight since Tamaki had me over a few days ago. Okay, sweetie, just checking, she said as she walked into your house. You sighed and looked into his eyes with a small smile. You stood up on your tippy toes and pecked his cheek softly. I'm looking forward to getting through this with you, Togata, you said with a flustered smile as you watched his face turn deep red. As you shared the moment, looking into each other's eyes, you heard your mom yelling for you from inside. You rolled your eyes and opened your front door. I'll see you tomorrow, Wayan. Call you later, Togata said as he raced off, leaving you speechless on your doorstep. Yeah, get through this together. How hard can that be then? So, I believe it was recently I got a comment, and it was like, I thought this was going to be a story between, us and the character, I forget what character it was, and not like one between you and the character, and I was like, I didn't even think people would think of it that way, because, like, I know I'm supposed to be the narrator, but sometimes people do write stuff in first person. Like, for example, me, I like to write stuff in first person sometimes just because I feel like it would be easier to the story. I never considered people would think of it that way, so I apologize. And because of that comment, I kind of want to start writing, or trying to write, or like fan stories that are, or trying to like recreate them if they're in first person, into second person. Does that make sense? Yeah. Did I say third person? Third person would be kind of weird, no? Because I'd be like, oh, Wayan did this, and then Wayan did that. Not you and you. Does that make sense? I don't know if you guys really know what first person is if you don't write a lot or you don't read a lot. But yeah, I just explained to you the 3 POVs. Anyways, I'm gonna go edit this. Have a good evening, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, whenever you are, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Or later today, because I feel like today is a good day for me. Okay, bye everyone.